AI is great for a lot of things, but for our business, the most important, impactful thing is if it can follow up with our leads and re-engage them. And there really wasn't anything out there that anyone could identify a year and a half ago.
Hey, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Eat, Sleep, and Invest. I'm your host, Brian Driscoll, and I'm here with Brad Bone. What's going on, man?
Hey, Brian. Good to be here. Good to talk to you.
Brad, why don't you give everybody a little background on the real estate side and then the AI?
Yeah. So I started real estate investing almost about 10 years ago. 10 years ago, we started buying over at the auction in California. We live in California. My brother and I teamed up, started our company in July of 2015, about a year later. And then we've been going since then. So, we started buying in Jacksonville, Florida in about 2018. That's become our main market. So we're pretty virtual. I mean, we live in California, invest in Jacksonville, and that's become all we focus on is that market. So that's been kind of the last 10 years.
What made you pick Jacksonville?
It's not nearly as scientific as it should have been. When you're in California, when you grow up as a real estate investor in California, you're always kind of thinking about how to get out of state because of the regulations and things like that. So from the beginning, we were starting to buy out of state here and there. And like even those early years, we were trying to figure out how to get into the Southeast. We would go to like the IMN conferences and we were the small fish in this huge pond, but listening to these guys talk about the Southeast, and that's where all the rentals are and everything. So that just piqued our interest. Eventually we started marketing there and it just grew slowly. But now we feel a lot more comfortable there than where we're at.
Nice. And you say you do this with your brother. He's your twin, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys identical?
No, we're fraternal.
Okay. Yeah. So you look different, right?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, cool. How's that working with family?
It's gone really good. It was something we were worried about at the beginning. We were trying to, you hear horror stories about working with family. But one thing we realized is we've always been partners because we're twins. I think that's a unique advantage we have versus even being siblings. I think being twins, you're just closer. You think a little bit more alike. But I remember being worried that maybe we were too similar. And then as we've gone along, we've figured out like we do have differences in the way we think, which is good because he focuses on the things he's really good at, and I focus on the things that I'm better at. So it's gone good. The most important thing is we've got the same core values, the same goals, and everything else just falls into place.
That's cool. What do you guys do? Like, which parts of the business do you handle versus him?
So I'm more of the visionary CEO, and we now have a COO that works with us, but I was always the one pushing the real estate business, and he handles more of the finance department side. He also works with my dad. We come from a farming background, so my dad and him work, in the farm, on the farm. So he's not able to put as many hours to real estate as I am. So that's how it breaks up, and it's been a good partnership.
It's a crazy breakup too. It's like, hey, we'll work on the farm half the day, working real estate on the other side of the country, the other half.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you guys doing in Jacksonville? Are you doing like what type of properties and what are you doing with them? Like you flipping, wholesaling, buying, hold?
So we've done all that over the years, but what we've pivoted to, especially in the past year and a half, has been assignments and novations. Because we were flipping over there and that was working okay. But when the interest rates went up, we got caught with some inventory that made us realize how nice it is to just have a quicker cash conversion cycle. And so that was our big focus about a year and a half ago. So that's what we do now. We try not to, we haven't closed on anything in probably about 7-8 months. It used to be like, if we get a really good deal, we're open to closing. Now it's just like, if we get a great deal, we're going to sign it. That's just how we're going to do it.
You plan on just staying in Jacksonville, or since you're doing it remote, like you could do kind of wherever, right?
We could. Jacksonville's a big enough market that we're not going to outgrow it anytime soon. And if you go into other markets, you're kind of building from the ground up again. So I feel like we're going to stay there for quite a while.
All right, cool. Last question. Then we're going to jump into the AI stuff. Like, how are you guys getting your deals? Like, how are you finding these people?
All inbound marketing. So everything we're doing right now is inbound marketing. Pretty heavy in TV, pay-per-click, direct mail, and we're starting Facebook ads here pretty soon. We haven't started that yet. We have worked with you guys as well. We've done paper lead over the past year or so. That's been a filler campaign, marketing campaign as well. But it's all we're into the inbound. We've done outbound, but I like inbound a lot better.
Yeah, inbound's it's more expensive, but it's easier. Like it's less manpower.
Right.
All right, cool. So now you've been doing real estate for 10 years and you're branching into AI. How'd that happen?
So I got really interested in AI. AI became a really popular thing something like a year and a half to 2 years ago, something like that. It's been around for a while, but that's when everyone started. I think ChatGPT came out somewhere in there. And the thing I was thinking about, and I remember actually we had this conversation as a group at CG about a year and a half ago of like, what are the companies that do AI follow-up? Because to me, AI is great for a lot of things, but for our business, the most important, impactful thing is if it can follow up with our leads and re-engage them. And there really wasn't anything out there that anyone could identify a year and a half ago. So I continued to look and research and came across WooSender and signed up with them early this year, started to integrate that system with our CRM and started to see success. And originally I was trying to work out some kind of referral program with them, and it turned into like, hey, why don't you guys just resell this? And so we started doing that. And so now we're an authorized reseller of WooSender. We're focused on the real estate investor space. They actually service any business that has a follow-up system or has leads that they're trying to close. So roofers, solar companies, all those kind of businesses. But we focused on real estate investors because that's who we know. And we've customized it for that industry. And people are getting success. We've had a lot of success with it, even in the past 5 months that we've been using it.
That's cool. So for everyone who doesn't know what WooSender does, give us like the cliff notes.
So they're the leading conversational AI platform out there right now. And what they do is they will, you integrate them with your CRM or load a list into the system. That the AI that's built into that platform will start to engage with your leads through automated follow-up or automated text and email and voice drops and things like that. As soon as someone responds, then the AI kicks on. So the automations are created manually. Like, when do you want them to go out? Once every 2 weeks or every day or whatever you want. But once someone responds, then the AI kicks in, and its goal is to push for an appointment. Like it's not, it's different than ChatGPT, where ChatGPT will just talk to you about whatever you want, history, sports, whatever. This is it's a selective language model, and it's pushing for an appointment. So it's trying to, hey, Brian, like, does tomorrow at 10 a.m. or 10:30 work to get on the phone and talk about your house? Those are the conversations it's pushing for. And so that makes it a very efficient like AI. If it was just open-ended, like open source, it would be impressive, but it might not get the results we want.
Yeah, keep going down rabbit holes talking about different things.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, first with AI, you're right. AI just got really mainstream like probably a year and a half, 2 years ago. And there's so many different things that you can do with AI. So this is interesting because it's specifically for real estate investors with one objective, which is to turn a lead into an appointment.
Right. And the way we think about that, so we buy in person. So we go to people's houses and buy in person. So these appointments that, RiverX is engaging and setting, we call those lead management appointments. We're not pushing those to our acquisition guys. You could do that if you have a virtual model, but we don't do that. We push that to our lead management team, and then they qualify that lead and or requalify it if it's a follow-up, and then set the acquisition appointment. So it's just trying to re-engage leads as much as possible.
Did you say you're buying in person?
Yeah, we are.
So what do you do? Fly to Florida all the time?
We've got a sales team out there. So we've got 2 acquisition guys in Jacksonville.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you got boots on the ground.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, because I'm just thinking this through too. It's like, so we do pay-per lead, or if you do Facebook or Google or whatever, scenario number one is you have an inbound lead come in, say at 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
You can probably zap it into the system, and once they respond, the system WooSender will have an engage them and try to book the appointment for you, right?
Yeah. So even actually, we set it up also to handle after hours and weekend leads. So, for example, we just had Labor Day weekend this past weekend, and I saw leads coming in on Saturday. Those were being booked as appointments today. And actually, I noticed we just got a acquisition appointment out of one of those leads this morning. So yeah, you can set this thing up to almost be like your backup call center to just handle your after hours stuff. You can set it up to handle just specific lead sources. Like, you probably don't want this handling direct mail leads because you want to answer those calls live, but web form leads might be a much better option.
Yeah, and especially like after hours too, because if you're manually trying to do it, you're waking up today at, I don't know, whatever time you get up, you can't really text people till 9 or call them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this whole weekend, if you're out of town, you can at least be getting back to people versus making them wait 3 days.
That's the fresh lead side of what the AI can do. But I think what's also really powerful is we connect it to our CRM. And if you got a CRM that works well with Zapier, this will integrate with your CRM. And then like just the daily, I call it just like the daily follow-up that happens. You talk to a seller, they're not ready to sell, you push that over to follow up in the CRM. Well, we have it set up to where that's going to let the AI know, hey, put this person on a drip cadence, or so we're doing our follow up over in WooSender, and actually the thing that's been the most impactful recently has been the unresponsive. So you get leads that come in, you call them back quickly, maybe you have a good speed to lead, but you can't get a hold of them. So we're supposed to hit them for like 7 days or whatever. Our team sometimes does that. We start focusing on the new stuff. We don't really focus on the unresponsives. But we push those over to WooSender, and WooSender starts a 5-day hammer campaign where it's hitting them with texts and emails. And we've re-engaged a lot of those and closed a lot of those deals that otherwise maybe they would close if we're really good at being diligent. But, oftentimes those fall through the cracks.
Man, that's a good point too, because especially after you've been in business for a while, that follow-up column gets pretty big.
Yeah, it does.
It's kind of overwhelming. Like one person going through that, especially when you have new leads coming in, it's like, well, they kind of get the back table and then they just disappear. Like they don't get any attention.
Yeah, and I think it also does something like this. Kind of the interesting thing to think about is we're human beings and we have emotions and we kind of live on momentum. And especially salespeople do. So if you ask a lead manager to go hammer a bunch of cold leads, they might do it, but they're not going to be excited about it. And when they come across that one seller who's ready to sell, they might not be ready to have that conversation because their energy level's down. Where AI is not going to care. It's like emotionless. It's going to do its job, engage the person that wants to have a conversation. And then you have your actual human beings having real conversations with people that want to talk to you. And that just keeps your team's energy level higher throughout the day. So they're going to be more effective overall, because you're letting them do the stuff that, humans should do and letting the AI do the things that we all hate to do.
Yeah, it makes sense. So say you have a list of 5,000 people or 10,000, like a larger list. Does it send them all at once? Do you have to worry about your phone number getting flagged, or is it staggered, or how does it work out on the follow-up side?
Yeah, so if you were to load your database into it, which is what we do when people first sign up, it's like load your database and then set it up from this day forward to where your follow-ups drip in as needed. So if you were to load your follow-up into there, you can set it up however you want. You can have 50 of them go into the system a day, 100 a day, and you're just kind of watching the deliverability to make sure you start to get limited by the phone carriers, which is going to be the case for any communication system. So you just kind of watch the deliverability, and then it's also set up on a sequence. So it's going to get hit, that these people are going to get hit today. In fact, the way we do it is if we have a really cold list, we kind of almost do like a 7-day push to try to get appointments set. So they're going to be being hit every day. We're just trying to re-engage them. So there's a cadence built out, and then there's also a certain number that you're pushing in per day, and that can all be customized however you want.
not, I don't want to say not pretty simple, but it's a simple outcome what you're looking for. I know the onboarding and setting up is that complicated because there's like so many different scenarios on someone responds back, who is this versus I'm not sure or I'm willing to sell for the best price.
First of all, I am kind of very surprised at how simple this is for AI. I thought it was going to be a lot more complicated of a system to like understand and use. So it's surprisingly simple. But what we do is we've built out a bunch of custom campaigns, custom automations, custom copy specific for real estate investing. So when people sign up through us, first of all, you're getting a better price than going direct to WooSender and better terms. Like we've got month to month and annual options. We've got different things like that. But also you get all of our custom stuff. And so you can basically start out of the gate turning it on. The only thing you have to do is integrate with your CRM if you want to do that. Most people do want to do that. And that probably takes, figure a week to put that together. And we've got, Zapier experts that we refer people to put that together. That's not part of our offering is to actually integrate. I wanted to make that part of it originally and got highly advised not to because everyone's got a different CRM and that would get super complicated. But the truth is the actual integration is not hard. It's just, you got to have some conversations with a Zapier expert. He figures out how to put it together and then you integrate it. And we've got all the zaps. We've got all the recipes that basically create the framework to how a CRM and an AI should talk to each other.
Nice. Okay, cool. And I like it too, because you're a real estate investor, so you know exactly what everybody's trying to accomplish. It's not like you're saying solar people ask different questions. They want to know like your sun rays or whatever that is, Real estate has specific things we're looking for. Yeah.
And most CRMs are set up similar. It's just that there's always going to be customization. Everyone's going to have a little different stuff. But in general, we're set up the same way. We've got follow-up stages and we've got maybe a couple buckets that we push things to. And, so it's not complicated, but it does take a little bit of customization, a few Zoom calls with that client.
Okay. So who's the ideal investor type that would benefit from your service?
So I think it's not going to be someone brand new because you're going to want a little bit of a database that you have. Like this isn't real useful for someone who has no follow-ups. Maybe they're just completely brand new. Now, if you're brand new, 6 months from now, you're going to have some follow-ups that you're going to need engagement with. So maybe at that point, it's useful. But so it's anybody who has a system that they're starting to build out, like a sales funnel that they're starting to build out, and you've got some follow-ups that you're trying to keep up with, and you've got some inbound leads coming in. Like if you don't have any leads, if you're just referral based or you're just driving for dollars, probably not a fit. But if you got leads that you need to handle, you've got a lead management team or even just one person handling that, then we're a fit. Yeah.
What's the best way for people to connect?
Probably either through Facebook or you just go to RiverXAI.com. That's our website.
Okay. Is it RiverX AI on Facebook also?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
All right, cool. So everyone, we'll put that down in the show notes too. RiverXAI.com. Yeah. Reach out to Brad if you guys have leads. Like most likely everybody has leads unless you're brand new, like you're saying. So it'd probably be worth a conversation.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is this isn't super cheap. It's not like, $100 a month or anything. It's more like, think of it as like the cost of a cheap VA is what you want to budget. And then there's a lot of cheap AI bots out there that you can, $40 a month. But what this is this is a whole platform. And this is a lot more robust than like just a chat GPT based bot, because you want a system that is controlled. And this is like a selective language model pushing for an appointment. That's how you get actual business outcome that you want. So that's why this is one of the big clients that WooSender has is the U.S. Army. They use it for recruiting high school and college students. So they're, it's a very good system that they've got a lot of clients. One of them being the Army.
That's cool, man. Hey, thanks for coming on. We appreciate you, Brad. Anything we wanted to talk about that we missed?
No, I think that was it. Yeah.
One other question. What's your top book you read this year?
Probably Turn the Ship Around. has been probably the big one. Yeah, that's David Marquette. Amazing book. Yeah, it's about turning your team into leaders and letting them lead rather than being this top-down leader to follower kind of culture, having a leader culture. That's been a great one. Yeah, read that a month ago.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Hey, well, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
And thanks, everyone, for listening. Until next time, get out there, crush it, close some deals. We'll see you guys.